Chapter 1: The Beginning. A Man of Labor and Vision. Vincenzo Lorenzo d'Antonio's journey began under the relentless clamor of industry and the harsh glow of factory lights. For over 3 decades, he worked as a stagehand, a master of his craft, ensuring that the show always went on while others took the applause. His hands, calloused and scarred, were a testament to his unyielding work ethic and dedication to those around him. Raised in a working-class family, Vincenzo's ideals were shaped by his father, a factory worker who had fought for union rights. Vincenzo believed in the dignity of labor and the power of solidarity, values he carried into his career. For years, he toiled alongside his peers, building not just stages but bonds of trust and camaraderie. But the world around him was changing, and not for the better. As unions succumbed to corruption and corporations tightened their grip on power, Vincenzo's faith in the system began to waver. He watched helplessly as his colleagues were exploited, their lives consumed by greed and betrayal. The unions, once bastions of justice, became tools of oppression. Vincenzo's disillusionment festered until it ignited a fire within him, a fire that would consume his life and define his legacy. Chapter 2: Maria, the Heart of the Revolution. At the center of Vincenzo's life was Maria J. D'Antonio, his wife of over 2 decades. A stunning and vibrant Latina with a strong moral core, Maria was more than a partner. She was his confidante, his moral compass, and his greatest inspiration. Coming from a working-class background herself, Maria understood the struggles of ordinary people in a way that deeply resonated with Vincenzo. Maria's empathy and strength grounded Vincenzo, reminding him that the revolution wasn't just about dismantling systems, but about improving the lives of individuals and families. Her influence shaped Vincenzo's belief that freedom and discipline must coexist with humanity and understanding. She was the quiet force behind the revolution, helping to balance his fiery determination with compassion and wisdom. Chapter 3: The Birth of the Filthy Hand. Out of Vincenzo's disillusionment rose the Filthy Hand Society, a movement born in the shadows of industrial decay. Vincenzo began small, organizing secret meetings in warehouses and abandoned factories. He spoke with the voice of a man who had lived the struggle, his words resonating with workers, veterans, and the disenfranchised. His vision was simple yet profound: a world where discipline and unity could triumph over chaos and corruption. "Discipline is freedom," he declared, a mantra that would become the cornerstone of his philosophy. To Vincenzo, freedom was not the absence of restraint, but the presence of purpose. True freedom, he believed, required sacrifice and order, a collective commitment to something greater than oneself. The Filthy Hand Society grew rapidly, transforming from a whisper of rebellion into a deafening roar. Vincenzo's leadership was magnetic, his speeches electrifying. He inspired not just loyalty, but devotion. Yet his rise was not without cost. Friends turned into enemies, alliances fractured, and the powers that be marked him as a radical threat. Chapter 4: The Revolution Begins. The tipping point came when Vincenzo led the society in a daring strike against the headquarters of a corrupt labor organization. What began as a protest escalated into a full-scale revolution. The Filthy Hand Society seized control of industrial hubs, dismantling the institutions that had oppressed them. Vincenzo's vision began to take shape, but as the revolution gained momentum, so did its complexity. Vincenzo's demand for discipline grew stricter, his tolerance for dissent thinner. To maintain order, he implemented policies that many saw as draconian. Loyalty was rewarded, defiance was punished. The revolution that had started as a fight for justice became a test of endurance for Vincenzo and his followers alike. Chapter 5. The Struggles of Leadership. Vincenzo's greatest battles were not fought on the streets, but within himself. He wrestled with the weight of his decisions, haunted by the faces of those who had fallen for his vision. Was he building a better world, or merely replacing one form of oppression with another? These doubts gnawed at him, yet he could not stop. To falter now would be to betray everything he had worked for. Even his closest allies began to question him. Sophia, his most trusted advisor, became a voice of dissent, challenging his methods and urging him to temper discipline with compassion. Their relationship, once a cornerstone of the movement, fractured under the strain of conflicting ideals. Vincenzo dismissed her warnings, believing that the revolution demanded unyielding strength. But her departure left a void he could not fill, a reminder of the humanity he was losing in his quest for perfection. Throughout this period, Maria remained his anchor. She urged him to remember the people behind the revolution and to seek balance in his leadership. While Vincenzo was often consumed by strategy and ambition, Maria reminded him of the personal sacrifices and humanity that had inspired the revolution in the first place. Chapter 6. The Triumph and the Cost. The revolution reached its zenith with the collapse of the old regime. Vincenzo stood before a sea of followers, delivering a victory speech that echoed through the streets. We are free because we are disciplined. We stand as one because we chose order over chaos. This is not the end. This is the beginning. The crowd erupted in cheers, yet Vincenzo stood alone. The weight of his choices bore down on him, and he realized that his dream of unity had come at a cost. He had built a world where every citizen had a purpose, but in doing so, he demanded sacrifices that few could bear. Chapter 7. The Reflection and Redemption. In his later years, Vincenzo withdrew from public life, retreating to a modest home on the outskirts of the capital. He spent his days writing, reflecting on his journey and the legacy he would leave behind. His memoirs revealed a man torn between pride and regret, a leader who had given everything for a cause, but questioned whether it was enough. I am not the hero they imagine, nor the villain they condemn, he wrote. I am a man who tried. If I failed, let my failure be a lesson. If I succeeded, let my success be a beginning. Maria remained by his side, encouraging him to seek redemption through acts of humility. Together, they visited families affected by the revolution, offering support and listening to their stories. These encounters, though painful, brought Vincenzo a measure of peace. Chapter 8. The Legacy of Vincenzo and Maria. When Vincenzo passed away, his name became both a symbol and a question. To some, he was a hero who had reshaped the world through discipline and vision. To others, he was a cautionary tale, a man whose obsession with order overshadowed his humanity. Maria's influence continued to shape the Filthy Hand Society, ensuring that compassion and inclusion remained central to its mission. She became a beloved figure, known for her wisdom and strength, inspiring future generations to balance ambition with empathy. Final reflection. Vincenzo Lorenzo d'Antonio and Maria J. d'Antonio's story is not just about revolution. It is about love, struggle, and the enduring quest for a better world. Their lives, shaped by Maria's unwavering support, remind us that even the boldest visions require a human heart to guide them. Together, Vincenzo and Maria left a legacy that transcended their time, challenging future generations to redefine freedom, discipline, and the true meaning of unity.